What's up, everybody? This is Coach MJ, the coaching connoisseur, and I want to welcome you to our training broadcast for today. You can see the topic on the screen. This is going to be a good one because if I've learned one thing about Black women, my fellow Black women, as I have done the work that I do, it is that we love to travel. Travel is usually at the top of our list of things that we want to do more of, and that's why we want to start a business. And so I thought I would come on and talk about how you can create a lifestyle where you can go somewhere every month or really just as frequently as you want to. But the difference is that you won't have to pinch pennies. Most of the time when you see how to travel more videos, it's always about traveling on a budget, how to get more from less. And there's literally nothing wrong with it. I often use those people's advice just because, hey, why not if you can save some money? But sometimes you want to be able to travel at a level where you're not always worrying about the budget. It's not always going to take you a whole year to save up for it. You're not always worried about, well, I can do this and not that because of the amount of money involved, right? And also, travel is also not limited by money sometimes, but more importantly and more valuable is the time that travel requires that you often don't have enough of because you're working your job. Most jobs give you 2 or 3 weeks off paid every year. Some don't do even that much. Some it might be a week. Some you might not have any time off without or with pay. And so your bigger issue about why you can't travel as much is because you can't get off from work. You can't afford to be away. Even if you can be away from work and still have your job when you get back, you won't be getting paid. Obviously, the bills can't stand that. So today we're going to be talking about how to travel really as often as you want to, but monthly without pinching pennies and without having to put things off because of your job. So let's get right into it. If you're taking notes on these videos, take notes on this one, okay? It's going to be a really short list because it's really not as difficult as you might think. It does involve some work and some challenges and some shifts of perspective, but it is not as difficult as you might think. Because if you are out there and you are working a job for somebody else, you have expertise that you are not totally optimizing for your own benefit financially and time-wise. And so that's why you want to listen up to this video so you can find out how you can do this. So the first thing is that you need to make travel a priority. So that's really kind of a shift in the mindset. Make it where travel is something that's very important to you. Now, you might say right now, well, it is important to me, MJ. It's what I would love to be able to do all the time. Right, but it's not a priority, which is why you don't do it as often as you might want to. So making something a priority is a little bit more than just saying, I would love to do this. It's about putting it at the top of your list and doing things specifically, even outside of your comfort zone, even if it's outside of what you might have thought about before to make it happen. Right now, when you want to go on a trip, you probably decide where you want to go, when you want to go there, and then you maybe start saving up money. Maybe you put a deposit down, maybe you ask off from work. And that's all you do to make that one trip happen. But if you wanted to take another trip the following month after that one's planned for, or if you wanted to go somewhere 2 weeks from now or whatever, you don't make that happen, right? Probably because there are limitations, but travel's not a huge enough priority for you to have done everything you could do to be able to take all the trips you want to. So making travel a priority means I'm going to do whatever I have to do in my life to create an environment where I can travel as much as I want to. That means getting outside of your comfort zone, which is what we're going to be talking about in the next couple of pieces to this puzzle. Is you can't get more than what you have right now without doing more than what you're doing right now. So if you want to be able to travel more and the type of work that you do doesn't allow you to do that, then it might be time for you to get a different type of work. If you can't afford or don't have the money, the extra money for the type of travel you want, that means you have to do something to make more money, right? So making a priority is where you will begin to look for those opportunities to change your situation so that you can do the thing you want to do more of. When we make something a priority, we make time for it. When we make something a priority, we spend our money on it. Think about your kids. You spend money on your kids because they are a priority. You don't just let them suffer and not have the things that they want. When you decide to buy a house and it's a priority, you start to put aside money in your budget to pay that higher house note that's higher than what your rent is, right? It's a priority at that point. You don't just say, well, I hope I can pay my rent. I mean, my mortgage. I don't know. You make it important and you go about getting the mortgage. You go about saving the down payment. You go about looking for a place. You don't just let it happen or hope it'll happen passively, because first of all, it's not going to happen passively. Anything that you have ever gotten in life that you didn't have before is because you made it a priority to get that thing. Very few things of any real long-term value require more than passive action. So making travel a priority, deciding, hey, how often would I like to travel? I made a goal at the beginning of, I think was it 2019? It might have been at the beginning of 2020. I don't even remember, that I would go somewhere every month. And I'm not talking about running up the road to a place 100 miles from where I live. I'm talking about out of town trips, flying out of town, going on, week-long trips, whatever that is, because that's just what I wanted to do. And then I had to say, okay, what in my life might need to change to make that happen? Now, in my situation, I didn't have to change a lot about my lifestyle because I already had these pieces in place. But the bottom line is you might have to make some changes. And are you really willing to do that to get what you say you want? Make travel a priority. Now, the second thing you need to do, because remember we talked about time and money are usually the biggest factors involved, is you need to have flexible virtual work. That means and I'm not talking about a work from home job. Hear me. I'm not saying that you can't do it, but with what I'm going to be talking about in the third step, having a job working for somebody else is not going to get it. So you need to have a flexible virtual business. What do I mean by flexible? That means you can work it whenever you want to. That means you are 100% in control of your schedule, your calendar, your time, how you use your day. You can wake up when you want to. You can go to bed when you want to. You can make money when you want to. And you also want to be making money while you are asleep. So there's a lot of ways where you can make, residual income and all that kind of stuff. I'm specifically talking about a business, though, that lets you work it from anywhere in the world, because there's nothing worse than knowing that when I go on this vacation, especially if you don't have paid time off from a job, that I'm not going to be making any money when I leave. That's one reason why even business owners who are somewhat in control of their lives, their business really is in control, right? So it's like, I can't really take off because it's this time of the month or this time of the quarter, or if I'm not there, I have to close the shop, or, if I'm not there, they won't know what to do, and that type of thing. That's not really flexible, right? You might be the head person in charge of your business, but if your business dictates to you when you can come and go, it's really in charge. There's nothing wrong with having businesses like that in the retail space and the service space and things of that nature. But we're talking about being able to travel frequently. You can't have a business like that ties you down to a location, that ties you down to a specific schedule that can't be altered, and still have this type of completely free lifestyle. And when I say virtual, it needs to be something that you can work from anywhere. So when you are having this type of business, it's not that you have to take off from work to travel, right? I never actually take off to travel. I may adjust my schedule on certain days because I'm in the process of traveling on those days, but I can work from anywhere in the world. I have a virtual business. All I need is one of my devices, a laptop, a tablet, whatever that is, and my business rolls on with me. And the type of business that I have is not something, and this is key. This actually should probably be another bullet point, is my business is not something that I want to get away from, right? I've heard it said that self-care, and I say this all the time, is creating a life that you don't need to escape from. It's not just about spa visits every once in a while or doing this or that, traveling every once in a while. Self-care, meaning you're trying to repair damage that was done over time. It's true self-care, and also having this type of business is one that you don't need to take off from. Now, are there times when I do go away and I don't do work? Yes, there are. But the type of work I do and the amount of time that my business takes to operate, a couple hours a day here and there, a few hours here and there, this is not nose to the grindstone for 8 to 10 hour days. This is check in a little bit at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day or in the middle of the day or while you're on a train or while you're on a plane, and that's it. And you've worked, right? So having that type of flexibility and having a business that is not something that you can't stand, and I'm like, I got to get away from this because it's this stressful, this stressful situation. That's what I mean by flexible as well, is having a business that you love because you're doing what you love 100% of the time. Everything that you do in your business, with very few exceptions, should be something that you enjoy doing, even if it's not the core of your business, because it's tied to your business. You enjoy all of it, or at least you can, designate or, offload the few things that you aren't as good at, that you don't love doing. But everything you're doing, you love. So it's like, I don't need a break from this, right? I can do this wherever and whenever, because it's not time intensive and because it's not stressful. It's not something that I dread like a job. It's the kind of business you need. And you can create that by taking your passion, your expertise, your knowledge and what you're good at, and turning it into the type of business I'm talking about. Now, let me give you this caveat, and I say this all the time. Don't just look at what you're good at, because you could be good at things that you don't necessarily want to do as a business all the time. For example, I'm good at music. I'm a pianist. I sing, all these things, but that's not what I want to do for a living. I would not want to build a business around piano or music. I enjoy it as a hobby, and that's the only way I want to do it. And so just because you're good at something doesn't mean it needs to be this business. It also needs to be what you're passionate about and really your purpose. So we're talking about passion and purpose, what you feel you were put here to do, to help people with, to solve problems in the world. That's the thing you need to be focusing on. So linking into your passion and your purpose so that you can afford to travel as often as you want, because you don't have to shut your whole business down every time you get on a plane. You can be somewhere for 2 weeks in an Airbnb. Your business is still open. If you only want to work 2 hours a day, that's fine. If you want to put in longer hours, you can, but you don't have to. Meanwhile, you're enjoying the glamorous beaches and the trendy urban centers of the world, right? Having a business that you love what you're doing and you know why you're doing it. You're not just chasing the money. You're doing it because you feel like it's what you're put here to do. You will never work another day in your life. And that kind of business is what will liberate you to travel monthly and not have to take off from work. Now, the other part is, and it's in the title, is without pinching pennies. I said earlier, nothing wrong with traveling on a budget. I've used those budget-friendly tips. I even do it now, even if I don't have to, because why waste money if you don't have to? However, there are times you want to just be able to move the way you want to move and enjoy luxury stays and luxury accommodations and luxury transportation and luxury excursions and luxury this and that. And there's nothing wrong with that. This isn't for the people who want to do everything on a budget. This is for the folk that want to live that glam life. There's nothing wrong with that. All you have to do is solve the money problem. So that business I was just describing up there, you can create a business where you can offer your services to people who are desperate for your solutions in the marketplace at a premium price. A premium price allows you to reach your income goals faster. It allows you to afford this life that you want to live, to be able to have the things you want without worrying about breaking the bank. And it also ensures that you get to work with only the best, most committed clients. As a high ticket coach, you can coach, you can also add speaking into it, writing, whatever that is. But as a coach, you are helping to move people from where they are now to where they want to be, in a problem to a solution, with a need to having everything that they want and need provided, because you have shown them how to solve this problem. And it can be in the financial space, it can be in the health space, it can be in the relationship space. Most problems that people need solved are under one of those 3 headings, either directly or indirectly. And what you know how to do and what you're passionate about, I assure you, with almost 8 billion people on this planet, you can and you will find people who are willing to invest $3,000 to $10,000 for your solution. It's not about your time, because you're not going to be selling your time. I work for this many hours and I do this. I got to be with this person for this many days and this. No, you're saying, I know the way to out of the problem that you are experiencing. I'm going to show you the path step by step. I'm going to stay with you, support you, hold you accountable till you get the result you want. I can't guarantee you'll get a result. This is what you're telling your clients, because you can't guarantee how they will show up. However, what you can tell them is if they show up, they will eventually get the result that they want. Again, it could be having their marriage saved. Maybe it's helping them in the dating space. Maybe it's helping them up level in their career. Maybe it's helping them out of a health issue, lose weight, or get in better shape, or eradicate some type of illness or disease. Whatever your passion is, whatever it is that you help people to do or would like to help people to do, because you might not be doing it right now, you can do it and charge premium prices for it. You have to know how to have the conversations. You have to know how to weed out the people who would not be a good fit. You have to know how to hold your standards high. You have to know how to get them to those results and how to package your purpose and your passion in a way where people will want to invest with you, but it's doable. I do it. Thousands of other coaches are doing it every single day. But what that allows you to do is to be able to travel and spend $6,000 on a trip if you want to. And you can do that all the time. It's not a once in a lifetime trip. It's as many times as you want to trip. I remember I saw that phrase recently, a once in a lifetime trip. And I thought that was so sad that a person can be here for decades, 70, 80 years, however long they live. And there are things that they can only do once, but it's not because they only want to do them once. It's not because they're only doable once. There are a few things in life you can only do once. There's very rare things, though. Most things you can do as many times as you are able to, but people don't know how to do it. And so you can be one of those folk that creates an income where you can afford to travel all the time. You can do that. You don't have to be tethered by a location, and you don't have to let money be the first consideration. Imagine going out on a website that sells luxurious trips and just paying for it in cash. It's a $5,000 trip. You just pay for it. And you don't have to have a roommate. You know the hassles of trying to get your sisters to go on a trip with you, you know. Everybody ain't got their money together and all that. You don't need a roommate. That extra $1,000 or $2,000 to go by yourself, you will have that because you are showing people how to solve a problem that they are suffering with. So they are willing to invest with you to get the solution. And it's not going to be solutions drug out over years. You can help them get to these solutions in a matter of weeks or a matter of a few months, depending on what it is you do. You have to know how to package yourself in the right way to be able to do that, but it's doable. And by having that type of business that creates unlimited income potential and having complete control of your time because of the business model that you use, you will be able to travel every month, every few weeks, every few months. If you don't want to travel as often, but you want to do it a few times a year, however often, you will be able to do that without pinching pennies, without breaking the bank, without having to ask off, without having to save up forever. You'll have the money right there. You can pay for a trip every time you work with a new client. You can do those things. And it almost works for, depending on what your expertise is, what your passion is, what your purpose is. There are very few areas of expertise that you cannot use this model on if you frame it the right way, but you have to know how. And so if you would like to know how you can turn your purpose, your passion, your expertise into this type of business where you are free to travel monthly in a luxurious fashion whenever you want to, then I invite you to book a free breakthrough call with me. It's a free call, about 45 minutes, where we will be talking about, first we're going to talk about what it is that you want. Not only what kind of business you want, that's not even important. We've already talked about the kind of business you want, but what is it you want out of life besides travel? Why is it so important? What is stopping you from having it right now? And what it's going to take to get you there in the next few months? Don't let the end of the year being here make you start procrastinating till next year. You can start on this now in these last few days of 2021 so that when we start the new year, you're off to the races and you're already working towards launching your high-ticket coaching business in the space that you want to be in. You could be gone from your job in Q1 and Q2 where you have this freedom. It doesn't take that long to build a business like this, but you have to know how. And you can book your free breakthrough call with me at melaniehunter.com/chat. The address is on the screen, Melanie with 2 L's, hunter.com/chat. Book your call with me. The first step is always the scariest. It's like, oh, now it's real. Now there's no reason why I can't do it, because now Miss Coach MJ is going to show me how. But that's actually the best place to be in, because the how is the easy part. It's always deciding what you want, and that what you want is more important than staying comfortable, staying stuck where you are. Once you make that decision, the sky is the limit. So your decision to make right now is to go right now to my booking page, melaniehunter.com/chat. Click on the button, pick a time on my calendar, and let's talk in the next few days. We will be having a holiday here shortly, but I've got some time opened up even after Christmas that you can get in. If you don't see a time on the calendar, just email me at the email address on the booking page, and I will get you another spot. But don't delay. Go ahead and book your call so we can start out 2022 on the right foot. How amazing would it be to have the type of business that frees you time-wise and income-wise to live the life of your dreams, traveling wherever you want to travel in the world and not having to worry about getting back to work, not having to worry about saving up forever, spending too much money and all that. How amazing would it be? And you'll be able to help people every single day solve their problems and experience transformation as you go. Can you imagine that? I know I can. And not only imagine it, I get to do it every day. And I want you to join me. But first, we have to have a conversation to see if we're fit to work together to get you there. So MelanieHunter.com/chat is the address to get on my calendar. It's been a pleasure sharing with you. I will be back next time with another training broadcast. Book your call right now, and I will see you next time. Take care, be blessed, and happy holidays.